Pete, how are you? Thank you for having me on. Um, I work at Bluemont. We're a private business and we're Australia's leading supplier of mobile flood barriers
Right.
to councils, SES, NEMA, as well as private individuals and businesses.
And in this role, you're also doing a lot of work across the Pacific, I understand.
Yes, we do. Bluemont do supply other technologies such as solar desalination, but we're also working in flood risk across the Pacific, in particular in Fiji, with yourself, looking at the
Yeah.
Nandi flood alleviation scheme,
Yeah.
which is a pleasure to be involved in and
Yeah.
trying to help the Fijians along to reduce their risk.
No, look, and reducing risk is something that you're familiar with because Paul, when I first met you, you shared with me the story that for your work back in the UK that you relocated because you were working on one of the biggest flood mitigation projects in the UK at the time, which was up in northern Scotland somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. I was extremely lucky as a young hydrologist, mid 20s, to be selected to move up to the north of Scotland and work on what at the time was the biggest package of flood risk management work in the UK. It was five flood mitigation schemes from investigation through concept design, detailed design, right through to construction in five different locations. And the great thing was we were all co-located in one building. So the council, the contractor, and the consultant, we were all in from day one, working together to get the best solution. And it was amazing. It probably remains the best project I've ever worked on.
Yeah, so you're working for Royal Haskoning at the time, a famous sort of Dutch consulting company, but has different arms and teams in the UK and other parts of the world. But Paul, I think so that experience to allow you to see the whole picture from, I suppose, start to delivery, and then also understand how to work with that. Well, just working with the council would have been a critical thing then, because they were the client along with the local community.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience, and got involved. We got involved with aspects of a project that you wouldn't normally. So, for example, we were advising the councillors on keeping them up to date with the progress of the scheme, helping them to understand some of the technical issues and aspects, so that when they came to approve elements of the project, they were in the best possible knowledge and shape to do so. So, it
Yeah.
really gave us access across the full spectrum of a project. It was wonderful.
And I see that like Paul and I are actually doing some work in Fiji at the moment, but I can see that those skills come into play in terms of what you currently do. So like if you in terms of the work you're doing now, Paul, what would you describe as one or two of the key skills that are needed for you in your job?
There's no doubt in my mind, Pete, that number one is relationship building. Unless you know the right people to talk to about a project, to talk to about funding, to bring together as a project team, then not much happens. So it's really about going out into new areas, so into the Pacific Islands, making those connections, building those teams, as well as pulling in people that I've worked with for 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
So I think relationship building is the number one thing that I do in my role.
And that comes with experience. So for young professionals starting off, I suppose building what you can early on is something that they could strive for.
Absolutely. Continually get to know people, talk to people not only within your discipline but outside. Because any good project team is a quite a wide range of people, not just scientists or engineers. You know, economics people, ecology, hydrology, geomorphology, all sorts of civil, structural, mechanical engineers. So it really takes quite a wide, diverse team to
Yeah.
deliver something. So get to know as many people as you can and stay in touch
Yeah.
because it should be a cumulative effect.
Yeah.
As you work your way through a career, then you should be getting a bigger pool of knowledge, relationships, and friends to work with.
No, look, I think you do that well. But so Paul, and So working with Blue at the moment, what's the satisfaction you get out of it? Well, what is it that you like about your role?
Yeah, I really enjoy actually going the final step in a flood mitigation project and helping reduce or remove people from flood risk. We spend a lot of time as a community, quite rightly, modeling and mapping and understanding the risk. That is fundamental to finding the right solution. But I really enjoy then going to that next step and helping to design either permanent or temporary measures that actually reduce people's risk, to humans and to assets.
Fantastic. Like it's, I suppose from a delivery point of view, like you're not only there at the beginning about looking at all the new ideas, you're there right at the end in terms of that on the ground activity. That's fascinating. Paul, thanks for your time and thanks for sharing your story.
You're welcome. Thank you, Pete. Thanks for having me.